The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French, and I'm a California native that transitioned to Las Vegas 19 years ago. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone, returning phone calls, and overall structure running a solid real estate business. Many of my competitors do not have the knowledge of how to write solid offers to legitimately have your offer looked at, and they work with a commission-first mentality. I will roll up my sleeves and work hard to find the right home for you regardless of the time it takes. Please call me directly 702-557-6176 to start the process of finding the right home for you. I'm available 7 days a week for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
And welcome, everybody. This is Dan French. This is the French Workbench podcast here on a Saturday. And we have a couple of co-hosts of mine I'm going to go across and introduce. Man, we had a lot of things happening this week, man. It's just been a roller coaster.
It has.
Yeah.
It's
been interesting. So I'm Dan French. I host the French Workbench podcast. If you guys don't know about this channel, this is the most real and behind the scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs through real life experiences. And we bring on a lot of guests. If you guys are first time, you guys want to hopefully subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Also like the channel, leave any comments. And I want to go across the room here, and I'm going to introduce my good friend, Bret Jenny. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, Dan French?
Not much, buddy. What's happening with you?
Ooh, there's some volume going on that music.
Yeah, you like that?
I love that song.
Yeah, what's going on with you, buddy? How's life?
Man, just trying to keep up. There is nothing out there in the market, man.
Yeah.
So a lot of buyers and no homes equals no action.
Right?
You know, so just been trying to stay busy doing YouTube videos and keeping up on my crypto. And man, but sellers is really where it's at right now, isn't it? It's kind of it's kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now too. I mean, people have been talking about this Omicron going on here in Las Vegas and how it's sweeping through, and everybody's a little, you know, they're not worried, but they're like, you know, it's a consideration to visit Vegas, right? So maybe you have people coming out of state, maybe they don't want to do that. We've had some guests and also some co-hosts have actually come across, including myself, that had some scares with getting the Omicron and getting sick, you know. Sick.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, we had.
That's why we weren't here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like I had scared about that as far as being sick. So my thing is that we got a couple of people out. We had our guest here today out. So I think it's starting to be something to look at, right?
Rick Raines is out because of it. Our guest is out for another reason, but regardless.
We miss you, Rick.
Yeah,
we miss you, Rick.
Yeah, so it's kind of a lot of people had a lot of things going on, including sickness this weekend, and we found out about some of them this morning.
Right?
So here we are, kids, improvising.
We also have Corin. Corin, what's going on today, Corin? How you doing?
Good morning. It's always fun to be here with you guys. You know, skeleton crew, full house. It's all good. It's all good.
The bones of it.
It's all good. You know, we got still a lot of a packed show. We got a full content we're going to talk about. We're going to talk with Corin today about really where she came from and how she became a real estate agent. You know, we brought her on the show because we were just kind of testing the waters, and she really morphed into and being a chameleon here on the show.
Perfect.
Brought a lot of added value to the show. And so, you know, we're going to talk with her today about her life a little bit, because I think it's important for people to understand some of these people's background that we bring on, including Corin. But I first want to start with things that's going on here in the housing market. So I've done some data. And so we all know that buyers continue to struggle here in Las Vegas, right? We continue to see that scarcity of homes. You got cash buyers coming out and really outperforming or outcompeting with these buyers. And so scarcity of homes is pushing many buyers out of the market to buy some, really not to buy some properties that they would want to buy, right? It's like they're pushed in saying, hey, maybe I'm going to buy a house. You know, I got people right now that are looking for houses and they can't find anything. and they're like, man, do I either just stay in the market?
Yep. Or do I just bow out for a bit?
Right. Do I bow? So I think everybody's looking at, is there going to be an epic crash? Right.
People are getting tired of no homes on the market.
Right. Or is it going to be a smoking hot market? Why doesn't it just be, steady as we go? Right. Because I think 2022, steady as we go is something we're going to look at. Right. So I think with looking at this particular market, 2022, it doesn't have to be a crash. It doesn't have to be, hey, you know what? This market's just going to continue to be hot. We know that people still want to buy homes. We understand that there's more buyers in this market than there is obviously anything else, because sellers know this. They're getting the premium for their home. What were you going to say with this, Bret? I know you had something to say about it.
It kind of runs itself in a circle. The simple solution, and it's not simple, is more homes on the market. At the end of the day, that's just what we need. We need more product on the market. But then how's there going to be more product on the market when if you sell your house, you can't afford to turn around and then buy a house in the same market?
That's half my sellers.
So then why would you sell? So now we're still compounding the same problem. So the answer is we need more homes on the market. Everybody knows that. The solution is, how do we go about that?
Right. Well, let's talk about this.
What in realistic terms, what can be done and what needs to happen for that? I mean, obviously, more homes need to be listed. No shit, but you know what I mean. Like, what needs to happen for circumstances and events?
What do you think, Corin?
You know what? Absolutely. So right now, working with a couple of potential sellers. Well, they're gonna be sellers, but some of them have gotten sick, so we had to postpone a little bit. So others are getting their property ready to list. Okay. And then the others, like you said, it's like, well, we want to sell this house, but then where are we going to go? Where can we afford? So really though, it's like, do you, it's a need versus a want, but they do want to downsize or move to a different location to be closer to family. So they will sell, and it's a great time.
So that's more of a need than just, you know what I mean? Or like, if you're moving or you just want to get the hell out of Dodge, whatever it is, that's really the only people where it's a 100%. Of course I'm going to sell.
And a couple of those, some of those sellers, I mean, like they're moving out of state. They're going to a cheaper place.
There you go.
Moving back east or south.
Unfortunately, everyone's moving here versus, moving out.
Yes.
Let's talk about some layers, and I'm going to bring some facts and some bullet points that I want to bring up.
Drop some knowledge on us.
I'm going to drop a little bit of knowledge, okay?
Drop it.
Mortgage rates and inflation. Inflation hasn't been this high in 40 years, right? We haven't seen numbers like this in 40 years.
Is that a big deal?
It's a huge deal, right?
I know. I'm joking.
So we always talk about builders and where's that sweet spot for builders. We know Las Vegas really has no month supply, really. But if you got above 4 months supply, even to 6, that's builders where they're going to start to worry about what's happening in the market. They can't sell their product on what they want to sell it for.
Dude, that would be dreamland right now.
It would be.
To even have 3 months supply in the market, I would thank the gods in heaven.
We have 3 months. They have 3 month waiting list. I know.
Yeah.
I've got client in there.
Even 3 months, I'd be cool, man. Because that's a start.
They're still doing highest in bid and all that.
Yeah.
So let's say this. So the builder knows that they want, if you see a 6 month supply, what does that do for builders? Let's talk about this. So you know that you have labor issues, we have material issues, right, for builders. And so what does that do for somebody out there that's a builder that wants to pass this cost to the consumer? If rates go up, that's detrimental to builders.
Of course it's going to be passed to the consumer, but so now you're stuck in a situation where it's not that builders don't want to make more money and don't want to sell more homes. But if you already got backlogged on all of your current homes you're trying to build, how many more in the future? Like, you can't just start popping them off like it's nothing. First of all, the permits to build just doesn't happen that fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's taking forever right now to build a home, right? I mean, for builders' standpoint.
So anything that I've had in the past that was 6 or 7 months for a builder is well over a year now. Anything for like Toll Brothers that's a year is like a year and a half, 2 years.
What about you, Chris?
It's insane, man.
Absolutely. It's taking that long. Heck, like I said, it's taking a couple months just to find out if you even get that lot. You put yourself on a reservation list. It's insane.
Do I get picked for a lottery? What the hell is that?
Right.
Crazy.
So I think this market, where you look at it, steady as we go, like we talked about, it doesn't have to be either or. It could be right in the middle. And I think this market's going to continue to see appreciation in homes, right? The sales of homes, definitely. And you look at some of the challenges of what this market has. Okay, so you have investors, right? Is this a market for investors? Because are they getting the same return on investment, right, for buying into a house?
So they're not getting nearly the same return as they have in the past.
So they can't be as greedy as they used to be.
So they've made exceptions for that. Yeah. There's definitely no shortage, and this, of investors willing to buy properties right now and even pay a little bit more than what they should and take a little bit less of a profit. They have no problem doing that right now because they have to. Period.
I mean, you look
and I'll be honest with you, if you go and relist that home in that same neighborhood and yours is completely redone from head to toe, really, what other competition do you have, let alone one that's completely rehabbed for years?
Right.
So in that case, as long, even anything under $2 million, you're going to have people willing to overpay if it's the right property in the right neighborhood.
On that $500,000 property that my team, Javier and his team, come on, take a $20,000 profit in 45 days. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Normally, because I had, my investor that I brought to that before it hit the market, he was $475 on that, and in a normal investor market, that's what an investor, you wouldn't got more of that for an investor, but now they're willing to go above $5, right?
Well, that's what we're getting on that property.
There you go, dude.
So,
it's worth what someone's willing to pay.
So you look at the demand for homes, that's not going to go away, but the shortage of supplies is also not going to go away. Right? You look at the builders. So the builders' confidence was actually down last year in 2021, into last year, 2021. We started to see more months supply come on the market a little bit across the country, not here in Las Vegas. So we thought, okay, maybe there's going to be an issue here. But yet there is still the demand that people are looking for. They still want to buy homes.
Because the demand is so much higher than the product right now, what's on the market. Like, that's the thing. Even if you have interest rates go up 2%, I dare say it won't make that much of a difference in a market where you have less than a month's supply.
Yeah, because
I think you still have, even if you have buyers drop off because of the higher interest rates, it doesn't matter because you still got the other half that are cash or 50% cash or that say, I don't care. And they'll just do a 10-year ARM or 15-year ARM interest only or something like that. You get it,
So I want to bring up a couple things here. I want to bring this up. So we've had home sellers made killer profits, right? The average home sale or seller in last year, this across the country, profited roughly $94,000 in profits of last year. The average, right? And that's up from 2020 from $55,000, right? So you're looking at huge, record numbers for everything across the board. And it's really driven because there's no properties. And so, again, are we going to see this in 2022? I don't know. That's a big number, and it's a huge jump. Right. And now we talked about investors. The profit margin for investors was actually 45% last year. So it was actually, So they're still buying.
They're making on average 45% on a property?
Yeah, on average.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we're looking at a lot of this data. I'm reading a lot of this stuff. People were moving because they were looking for bigger households, right? They know that historically we had low rates, which is changing. And that's going to impact not just that, but inflation. That's changing. But all of these things, all of these layers that we're talking about is contributing to this market and where we're headed. Again, it's going to be a problem here, supply and demand. We talk about this on a lot of these shows. You're seeing low supply, high demand, more buyers than we can handle, right? More buyers that we can deal with. They can't find anything on the house. So people are just getting fed up. They're just saying, I'm walking away. I'm going to look at 2023.
It's going to be not much better.
Yeah, even if you have a percentage of buyers that are going to drop out of the market because of higher interest rates, you have even a higher percentage of homes not coming on the market.
Yeah.
So it outweighs the other.
Let's talk about this too. So you have some of the challenges, right? So we talked about rates. If rates go up, that's going to be a challenge for buyers because it's also going to be a challenge for builders. We look at the 10-year Treasury bond, and if it gets past that 1.94, 1.95%, you're going to see the problem is because rates go up, and what's going to happen is the housing affordability, the home affordability problem that we have. If you're going to go buy a $600,000 home starting point, we were in Summerlin, 2-story, 3-story homes. They're building them like crazy. Your rate goes beyond 4%. This market's going to slow. Because I don't think this current market, the imbalance of this market is going to sustain 4.5, 4%, 4.5 rates.
It will definitely impact it. I don't know realistically how much, because again, there's so few homes on the market that way supersedes interest rates going higher.
And they can refinance with you, Dan, in a couple of years, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Let me say this.
We'll see in a couple of years.
Where is that market at, right? So we sharply had a slight decline in rates, but overall we've been going up. And, like we talked about, with this inflation and with the issues that we currently have, is this the only thing that the Fed can say, well, this is how we taper this or tame this as far as the inflation numbers go?
So let me ask you this, Dan. What was the lowest interest rate we ever had at one point? In 2020?
I mean, look, it's a moving target.
Okay.
Let's say an average was probably in the low 2s.
Yeah. Okay. And so what's it at now compared to that?
I mean, we're probably in the mid
to
high 3s.
So it's gone up at least 1.5%.
That's still really good.
Has that slowed the housing market and home prices?
No, but when you combine that,
there you go.
But when you combine that with rising prices and scarcity of homes, and then you're having a higher payment, that will drop people's.
Well, I mean, listen, I do agree in the sense of if we have homes that go up another 30% every single year. I mean, obviously it gets to a point real quick where as much as you want and you're trying to get a home, you can't afford it, and that's just beyond. So
let's say
that's a conundrum we have, but I mean, I just don't see things skyrocketing, but I don't see anything coming down anytime soon.
Challenges for 2022, you can bring this up. So I'm going to tell you what I think is going to be. Home affordability continue to be a problem, right?
Yes. Yep.
Rates continuing to go up, supply, and also investors not seeing that they're getting as much of a return on these properties because of, hey, if I got to get a loan, rates are higher, right? The prices on houses are higher. Can I still get the same return on investment? Also, foreclosure activity, right? You think foreclosure activity is going to play maybe not here in Vegas, but is it going to play a role in seeing that, maybe more homes either come on the market or don't come on the market? I don't feel, people say, well, it's going to continue to have the appreciation in homes and prices going up because foreclosures are going to come on the market and some of these activities that's going on. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think that that's going to be, those things are going to contribute to continuing appreciation in homes, or is it going to just kind of stall things? What do you think?
I think we're hopefully not on the steep trajectory that we've been to make all those factors continue. Like you said, the whole home affordability and shortage of homes and all of that, interest rates. But I'm hoping for a little bit of a slowdown. And people, please don't freak out if you're not getting 50 offers in the first 5 hours. I mean,
this is not a 2002, 2005 market, completely different.
I know. So I'm hoping for like a little bit more of a balance, a calmness,
Brett, what were you going to say?
So looking at statistics for Clark County for distressed property transactions, okay? In January of 2021 for notice of defaults, so everyone knows, is basically the very first step in the foreclosure process.
Right.
It's basically a bank coming to you as the owner saying, you're behind on your payments. We are going to start the foreclosure process. Okay. So in January of 2021, it was 74. And then in September and October, and then October, November, it got up to 191 and 190. December back down to 152. These are ones where the bank said, we're going to start foreclosing on your house, right? Mm-hmm. So the notice of trustee sale is when they actually start going through the process and they have a date scheduled and all that, and they notify you of the date and all that stuff, right? So that was only 59 in January of 21, and that was only 62 last month.
Okay.
So you had 152 that were filed, but only 62 that are actually set in motion. Out of the ones that actually went to foreclosure for trustee deeds last month, 22.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that correlation of the initial, hey, we're going to start foreclosing because you're behind, is really high, but by the time, what I'm saying is that it's getting rectified.
It's getting corrected.
And more than likely, they have so much equity in their house, they're getting it rectified real quickly because you go from 152 down to 22.
That's
so look. So you think foreclosures are really not going to play a big role?
No.
I don't feel right. Okay,
People
so we've agreed upon that.
Yeah, that's why I kind of.
So do you guys feel that builders are the villain here? a little bit. I'm going to tell you why. It's because builders seem like, even though they have the labor shortages, right? Even though they have material costs and it's taking 9 to 12 months, they still control all facets of a client that comes in. And unfortunately, that's where people go because they don't have the ability to find a home that's on the existing.
How are they evil or?
I'm going to explain. So if you're going to a builder, they want to control everything, right? But secretly and hidden, they pass those costs, those additional costs through the price of the home, and they can do it because they have.
What do you mean
less than
secretly?
So I'm going to explain.
It's got to all be this.
So look, let's say the material cost is up 30%. Let's say the labor cost, because it's short, is up 25%. Now it costs them a little bit more money to hire those contractors to get the materials in a timely fashion, right? As a consumer out there, you're not going to know any of these numbers. This has all been put into this.
But that's with every business. My brother owns a plumbing business, and he'll bid out a job for like 50 man hours. Realistically, he finishes in like 23 hours. He still gets paid on those other man hours because he billed them.
Brett's brother, I hope you're not listening.
No, I mean, that's how every trade does it. Like, it's not...
Okay,
that's how they do it.
Here's my thing.
Business.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
If you have a market and you're a monopoly...
Sometimes it takes them longer than 50
You're
hours.
in a monopoly, right? Don't you think that builders have a monopoly right now because there's no homes on the market, and technically people are going to them because they have nothing else to choose from, so they can jack up prices as much as they need to cover those costs and still have people come in?
Well,
And they have. Yes.
Yeah, they have, but I think most of it, is not them taking advantage. It's keeping up with what they need to for their increase in their costs. If you start jacking up things too much, then it just becomes unaffordable, period. Then you're killing the concept of making money. So I don't know what their bottom line is as far as what they're paying for things and then what is increasing over time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they're just doing what they got to do. And at this point, they're just trying to keep their clients happy and just keep going. You know, I don't think they're sitting back just taking all this money in. And
well,
you know, their clients have been waiting so long to get their homes built, dude. They're dealing with so much crap that they don't want to compound it by 10.
Yeah, but listen, so we go there yesterday, right? We've seen builders and they're sitting there and they're just tacking, they're going crazy. They know the demand is there, right? So why would you think that it's not, but it's a perfect storm for a builder. You know, you got still low rates, but it's not historically low anymore, but still low. I mean, we're in the threes.
Is it going to be a builder? Yes.
And listen, and also too, you know, you're looking at where else do people go? And I feel that when they try to get a client, they control all facets of the client.
They do.
They do. And so I just feel that they could be the villain a little bit where they're maximizing. Again, they're a business. They're maximizing as much profit on an individual as they can.
As a realtor, I want to be able to control all facets of my client and my deals too.
Yeah,
so,
but do you give your clients options?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you feel like a builder really provides options to people where it's like, hey,
here's your option. Go to that builder if you don't like us.
See, there you go.
You have that choice, Dan. You have that choice in any market.
You know, there are some people out there who feel that they don't know that they can work with a realtor or another lender other than the builder. So, and the builder's not going to tell
I would say
them
the first thing you should do if you're looking to buy a new home is contact Corin or myself. I'm serious because
oh no, I do,
dude. We've have extensive experience with builders and just their mentality and how they work and what you can get away with and what you can't and what your leverage is and all that stuff is going to come to your advantage.
Look, I'll be the first to admit I have a love-hate relationship with builders.
Me
I think
too.
all realtors do, right?
Me too.
And last week I was running around all over Las Vegas. I've been to 6 builders for this client and everything. But I gotta tell you though, they do lead. I think they are leading the way in our lifestyle of the future, of the way their designs are, the work at home, the office from home, the multi-gen.
All they're doing is meeting the demand that they have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they know what they're doing, designing the homes the way that they design them because they're seeing what people want.
So we're getting off topic here. We're getting off topic. I'm not saying
we're not.
No, we are. I'm not saying that builders don't make a quality home and that they're not taking us to the future.
So
what I'm saying is in this market, are they the villain where they're saying, hey, we're going to just jack these prices up as much as we need to.
But they're not.
Hold on. Until we make enough profit, right? And at the end of the day, the consumer's not going to know about that because of all the additional costs and all the extra time. Look, if I came to you and I said, hey, this same home that we're building, roughly same square footage, everything's the same, is now $50,000 higher, or this lot premium is $75,000 higher. How is that not being the villain?
I think that in that regard, I absolutely think they do.
What do you mean?
They're just
as
waiting.
Far as like for the lot premiums?
The lot premiums.
For lot premiums, that's different. And that they probably do.
Well, that's a big deal there. If a builder wasn't in it to make profit, then why do they have those in this market?
I think they're doing that to make up for all the BS and extra costs they're losing on other things. And so they make up for it somewhere else in their business. And that's where they can get it right now.
Well, and Corin? There's always, like you said, there's such a demand right now. Like my buyer, for example, last week, a builder in town, $100,000 lot premium for their last lot.
Crazy.
It took me a while to convince my buyer. It's like, well, you really love this.
Because that's a hard pill to swallow,
$100,000. She finally said, okay.
Let me ask you this. What was the base price?
No, it was $170,000. The builder goes, oh, oops, it's actually $170,000. So my buyer told him where to go with that one. But guess what? 2 days later, they got that property. Some sucker born every minute.
So what was the base price of the home that they were looking at?
About almost $900,000, $800,000.
Jeez, and they wanted $200,000.
They wanted $200,000 lot premium for it, and it
wasn't even a lot with a full city view or anything.
No,
Get out of here,
that would have been $500,000.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, so $200,000 for nothing.
But there's demand. So are we going to tell the buyers, you know what? We can fight this kind of robbery.
Well, the problem I'm having
is if we don't buy.
Yeah, here's the problem I'm having is I had buyers last year where this is when the builders started really taking off with their prices and their lot premiums, and we're not releasing this second half for another 2 months, and by the time that happens, the prices are whatever it is, right?
Yes.
And so and we're talking buyers between 700 to 1.5.
Yeah.
And they're cash, but they basically said, we'll wait for this lot to come up. Lot comes available 2 months later, and I think it was 2 or 3 different builders pulled this move where it was like $150,000, $200,000 more than it was 2 months before.
Yeah,
they have cash, they have the money, they have no problem. They're just like, out of principle, hell no, we're not going to do it.
Exactly.
We're just going to chill out. The builders are out of their mind. The problem is we're a year later and it hasn't changed, and it's still only going up.
Yes.
So at what point,
out of principle,
are you going to finally buy or just forget it because it's not like you're going to have, so that's the conundrum I have right now with a lot of buyers, the ones that have been waiting, which is, that didn't happen.
Never know,
so
but
now
see,
what do we
that
do?
buyer that pays $100,000 or $170,000 for a lot premium, they may have come from another part of the country or the world.
They're from Cali.
They go.
Dude,
that's nothing.
Listen, they can do it. I mean, they're showing me their driveway in LA, and they have like 12 Lamborghinis, 10 Porsche. I mean, so they have the money. Yeah. It was a principle out of it, and I'm like,
so the builders just wait for that sucker to walk in. And I'm sorry, the buyer.
Look, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, look, everybody as a business wants to make profit. But with this type of market, this is a builder's perfect storm. And I think and people are paying a premium in this Las Vegas market. Now, across the country, I don't know. I know that.
How's that no different than saying a regular seller has the upper hand right now more than they ever have? Same. Well, no more leverage in the builder.
Yeah. Sellers made a profit, right? But here's the difference.
Their house is probably more advantageous than a builder if it's a newer house and in good condition, because you can get rid of it and close in 30, 45 days, where a builder, that ain't happening.
Well, here's the difference, though. So let's say you're selling an existing home. There's issues with the house. Are you going to keep going with that house? Probably not, right? You're going to probably back out. Builders know that there's probably not going to be any issues. You're going to get a home inspector. So you're going to really pay that premium regardless. If you're going to walk into a bad situation with a house as an existing home and you're a seller, people are going to pay $20,000-$30,000 above on these lists, but it better be turnkey ready. And it better not have any problems with it.
Absolutely.
Because that's the difference.
Yes. Even
100%.
though it's true, even though we have a shortage of homes, buyers have gotten a lot pickier. If we're going to pay 30,000 over.
So they're not, I'm not wasting my time going out and showing people 10 or 15 homes. It's 1 or 2 homes.
There's no
but
time.
it's like 1 home every 3 months, because that's when the right one comes on. Like, you know what I mean?
Sounds so
and then there's freaking 20 other offers. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, I just know I'm like,
so let's end this topic because I wanted to bring this up because people need to be aware just of their surroundings when they're going to a builder. Maybe have representation. Look, we're always
because it's free.
Well, we're going to be. Look, we're realtors, lenders. We're going to be biased. Okay, so people got to make that choice. Now, you can save a lot of money. I agree. You should take somebody that's going to support and help you, which you guys
should look at this way. Will it save you money, and does it cost you any money? It doesn't cost you any money, and it saves you money.
Yeah.
So I guess why would you not?
Well, look, and also
Other
too,
than F a realtor,
2022, we're going to see the same challenges. I think.
I think so.
I feel that the home affordability.
We are 100%. So keep on doing what we're doing right now.
I think it's already started way sooner than last year, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Already. The only way, and here's what, we're biased. Get with a realtor because we know properties before they go on the market. And sometimes that's your only chance right now to get a home.
At least gives you a foot in the door.
It gives you a fighting chance.
There's a lot of people out there think that having representation to go to a builder with having a realtor on your side really doesn't do a lot. I'm just going to be upfront. I mean, that's exactly what
I would say. Give me a call.
Okay.
Corin, I'll have that conversation with them.
You can talk to my clients. You can talk to my clients who.
I have no problem having that conversation with someone. I understand, but have them give me a call because.
Okay.
Well,
listen. Let's end that part. I think we can talk about this more. 2021 was a banner year for sellers. Huge appreciation, huge profits, never seen before.
Good to be a seller, man.
I don't know if 2022 is going to be the same. But I think if you keep the same path and have the same issues,
we're continuing.
We're going to continue the same.
I don't see anything.
Process the same.
Let's put it this way: I don't see anything different changing right now.
No.
I'm not saying things couldn't or won't, but I don't see any indication of anything changing. It's tightening even more, man. I mean, give you an example to kind of get in some stats here real quick. So when we've done the housing stat in the past, what we've kind of been doing is we've mistakenly been doing all of the GLVAR area, which is including homes for sale in Pahrump and Boulder City and all that stuff. So unless you plan on moving to Boulder City or Pahrump, we should probably just include what's in the actual Las Vegas housing stats, right? So if we do that, when I did it this morning, right before I came into the show, for single family residents, we have 1,986 homes on the market. And for condos or townhouses, we have 391. So we have a total properties in all of Las Vegas, condos, townhouses, minus mobile homes, is 2,377.
So we went down.
Think about that, dude. In the whole entire city. Damn. In an international city.
Over 2 million people.
Yeah, we're approaching 3 million.
Crazy,
by 2025, I think we're going to be at 3 million. So let's talk about this. So let's kind of end that topic. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about things that's going on with real estate, also cryptocurrency. But I also want to bring up, so we bring on people all the time, and we talked about Corin and really where she started in this industry. So I want to talk a little bit about her and give us your story. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, Corin. It's nothing crazy. So
get ready.
First off, where are you from? Like nobody knows.
Where am I from?
Her mom and dad.
All right. First of all, it's Year of the Tiger. Year of the Tiger starts February 1st. So, you know, if I'm going to be the Asian person in this room.
Is that the New Year?
It is. It is. Okay. It is Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year. Chinese.
Do you really believe in that stuff?
What? What do you mean believe in it?
Dude, do you want to die?
No, I thought that was like Christmas or something.
What do you mean believe in that stuff? It's Year of the Tiger.
What does Year of the Tiger mean, though?
Year of the Tiger, you know, okay, I'm not the expert. I'm Filipino, by the way. Going back to your question, I was born in Manila, Philippines.
Okay. Thrilla in Manila.
Yeah, Thrilla. I was there, actually, for the Thrilla in Manila. Yeah. Oh, that was fun. And I came here when I was 5 years old with my parents. My parents were part of the brain drain, Bret.
Okay, explain that again.
The brain drain.
What was that?
Okay, this is when in the early 70s, where the United States had a lack of engineers and technical people. Okay. So they reached out, especially to Asia. Both my parents were engineers. My dad was a mechanical engineer. My mom was a chemical engineer.
Okay. Wow.
So, my dad's like, you know what? Let's try it.
Let's go United.
America looks a little fun.
These here United States.
Let's go. Yeah. No, my dad didn't have $20 in his pocket like a lot of immigrants. He had a lot more money than that.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's funny. I thought you were going to tell me some sad story. Like, no, he had a lot more than that.
He had a lot more than that. He was an engineer, for God's sake.
Yeah. How was that, though? I mean, was that like, I'm sure like people always get here and it's like they step ground and it's like, it's a little intimidating, I guess, right? A little bit.
Well, you know what? It is, but a lot of it is language and culture. And being from the Philippines, you know, at that time, English was our national language. America
Was
was
it really?
pretty much our culture.
Really?
You know.
But I
we
mean,
were
just
very
the aura
westernized.
of being in America and almost like starting over, right? Isn't that a little scary, like for people?
You know, absolutely. For me and my sister, we were young. We lost our accents and we stopped. We spoke only English basically after 2 months, my mom said. So, you know, so that was an easier transition for me.
Child's
anyway,
minds
for
are
me.
like that, man.
Yeah, we were sponges. No
Yeah.
big deal. No big deal. So we were supposed to stay here for just a couple of years.
Yeah.
My dad's like, and then my dad actually sent us back
No kidding.
when I was like 9-10 years old, and he was finishing up his MBA at Berkeley here.
Okay.
And then I was there for a year. It was awesome. Best year of my childhood.
Why?
That was the thrill in Manila that I was there.
Oh, really?
Because my dad wasn't there. My mom worked 14 hours a day. My grandma let us run loose, you know, all over the neighborhood.
Yeah, you were the thrill of Manila there, weren't you?
I went to a private Catholic school, St. Paul, school for good girls.
So what do you,
Yeah,
what do
we
you
all
think,
know
what do
good
you
girls.
think the biggest difference is, let's say, from your culture versus, say, the American culture? Like, what do you think the biggest change or transition you had to go through with your family?
You know what? Absolutely. Well, you know, still very traditional. Filipino culture,
Okay.
Asian culture, a lot of different cultures are still very traditional. So, you know,
You have brothers and sisters?
I had one sister.
Okay.
She's younger sister.
Okay.
So a lot of it, I think the challenge was like, I'm out there in American culture all day long with my American friends, and then I got to come home. I'm coming home to this very
this
traditional
culture,
you know, and got to take my shoes off.
So how
and
did that work out?
Stuff like that. Oh, butted heads a lot. you
I mean,
know.
well, they had to understand. You're
they
raising your kids
did.
in America,
Well,
so duh.
They kind of didn't, and they
Really?
did. Yeah, my
did.
parents owned their own business, so they were also insulated.
Okay.
They were also insulated in that thing, and you know, I've
Yeah.
had Asian friends where, you know, their parents owned Asian Chinese restaurants or something like that. Again, very insulated, and they
So
didn't
what business
understand
did
what
your
we were
parents
doing.
own here then?
My parents owned a mining.
That's right.
Yeah, mining equipment, import export. Their largest client was Benguet Corporation, largest mining company in Asia, and they were based here in San Francisco. So so my mom, it was the cutest thing, you know, this heavily Filipino accent lady. She's talking to suppliers, equipment, bulldozers in Tennessee.
So that's
you know,
what they would
she's-
do, would be facilitate the stuff over
she
here to
would.
people who
Yep.
needed it. I gotcha.
They would buy here and send
They would
it
deal
over
with
to
the
Asia.
bullshit to get it happen.
Yeah. Oh,
Basically.
they loved her though.
Yeah?
She'd get these big old gift baskets at Christmas from you know the people in the Midwest. These suppliers, they just
Midwest.
loved her.
That's
She
me.
took no BS from nobody.
Yeah.
So you moved.
Pass
how
it
long
on
have you
to
lived
you.
in Las Vegas? How long have you been here?
I've been in Nevada. I moved here in 2011 from California.
What did you do when you got here? Like what
Bought
was
a
your
house for
Bought a
me.
house.
Bought a house for me.
Bought a house from
No, what
Bret.
did you do for occupation?
For occupation? Oh, I was a PR and marketing consultant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
did
that for a
blogging and
long
stuff
time.
too, didn't you?
I did a lot of social media marketing. I was on Facebook before
Yeah.
y'all were, you know.
That's her
on
forte,
Facebook.
dude. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what made you decide that says, you know what, real estate is my next chapter?
Because I had a great agent. I'm not kidding you. I mean,
Really?
I really liked, you
Wow.
know, and the bad agents taught me a lot too. And
Yeah.
and when I got divorced, you know, I had to buy my own house, and I learned a lot of lessons there. So, and I was, you know, when I got divorced, I was broke as a broke. So,
So
real
who-
estate
yeah.
helped me build my self-esteem, my
It does.
portfolio.
It
It
does.
really did. I've bought and sold 5 homes now on my own in the last 15 years.
What is the biggest challenges that you have in real estate? Not just before, but in today's market.
In today's market? Really just, I guess for everybody, it's always prospecting. It's always putting in that time.
That's the thing, man, is constantly having to get business
prospecting.
coming in.
Business
you know?
coming in. But you get to a point where sometimes, you know, and a lot of agents who are you know, they've been doing this a long time. They just sit back and take in the referrals. That's
Yeah.
it.
Did you
And
ever
that's
feel?
great.
Did you ever feel like, you know what, this is a hard occupation to be in, real
Every
estate?
effing day.
And did you were like, you know what, right? Were you like,
Exactly.
how many times did you think you were going to quit?
Never.
Never.
That's right.
Never.
That's why she's still around, dude.
Never.
80% of people don't make it past their first year.
87.
And then like 75% of that don't make it to 5 years.
And that's
if you're
what keeps me
around for a
going.
minute, yes, exactly. Because you have it in you.
Yeah.
She's just like me. When you tell me no, if you tell me no, that's exactly why I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't tell me no, dude. You don't tell me I can't
Never.
do something.
Now, if you
that
have,
alone will make me do something.
If you have quitting anywhere in your brain, then quit, please.
Yep. You're in the wrong business, dude.
You're in the wrong business. I had a full-time job before I became a realtor, you know, and then I got my license and I was doing it on the weekends and stuff like that. After my second escrow, I quit my full-time job.
Yeah, I remember when you started up in Reno.
My
And you
dad
called me
was
once in a while. And you said,
like,
"Hey, this agent's." I'm like, "You tell that son of a bitch." You tell him to f off. And
I call him. Yeah, I was calling him. All the time. No, my dad. Yeah, no. Of course, you know, traditional Asian parents supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer and like that. No.
Did they look at real estate as being like not really a real profession as far as
they
like
looked at all my jobs like that.
So they looked at real
Public relations. What the f is that? Like, you know.
So they looked at real estate as like, why are you doing that? You're this is not a true profession.
Well, it's a very risky profession because you don't know when your next paycheck is commission is coming from. So, and that's part of the.
That's what
it's the drive. You got to have it in you, or you don't, and just
That's why I'm trying to teach Dan. It's all about volume. It's volume. Volume cures all.
It is.
Volume allows you to do now business and everything dripping in between.
I have a real estate coach, so I have a real estate coach, and you know it's about mindset. And we discuss this like, you know, realtors have this. We're realtors because we have this need to always to be to have affirmation of ourselves.
Yeah.
And it comes from other people. So I guess is that
was
right?
Spoken like
somebody's got to
damn
tell
right,
me.
Yeah, I'm a realtor.
Somebody,
dude.
yeah, we're people pleasers. Somebody's got to tell me I'm great, or otherwise I'm unhappy.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, so I admit it. Yes.
Isn't it? Isn't it? That's what
I don't
makes
know what to
us,
tell you, man.
I love it though.
I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
So are you.
we wake up stressed every day, but it's a good stress. I mean, like if you don't wake up stressed, then you know.
To me,
stay in
it's
bed.
better. I'll say the stress of owning your own business and constantly having to bring in business, or the stress of working for someone else. I'll take the stress of working on my own
every time.
Every time, man. I mean, I'd rather do that than have to work for somebody and have to be reported in at a certain time.
Yeah.
So
I have to
agree
be at my
with you.
desk.
Let's go this direction. So, you know, with everything that goes on in real estate, right? You know, I think everybody's always going to be proud of their kids. You know, you're always going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to love you for whatever you are.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets of maybe not getting into real estate before you did? Like, because I know it has to find you, right? Everything kind of timing in life is everything. Like, for me to say, well, I would be as successful as I am now in my 20s, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that get started in real estate, lending, business in their 20s, and they're just trying to figure it out. But is the mindset there? So was real estate, did it find you at the perfect time?
I wish it found me sooner. And I tell this, and I was just talking about this to one of the moms on my team. She has 3 young kids. And I said, I tell this to every young mother. When they say, I can't do it, I have young kids at home, especially now. You have kids 24/7 at home. I wish I started when my kid, because I was a stay-at-home mom to twins, because, you know, it didn't make sense financially for me to go out and find a job. Yeah. So I wish I had started when my kids were younger, because look at my sphere back then: mom's club, soccer, school. I mean, I was in contact with 50 people a day at any given time.
Yeah, but do you think you would be the same success or see the same success? Because look,
I'd be retired by now.
Let me say this: you have a coach now.
Yeah.
You probably have no distractions. Unfortunately, you were divorced, but now you're just like, hey, I'm going to probably focus mostly on real estate at this point in my life. So would you still see the same path though? I mean, you might have more distractions. You may not be as focused because you're focused on your kids at the time. I'm just saying sometimes, yes, it sounds good, but maybe sometimes the timing of things is probably...
Well, hindsight's 20/20. I mean, you can sit there and say, hey, given the situation, you know, looking back, I should have taken advantage of it, but no one's going to say, you know...
It sounds good. I'm just saying.
Honestly, Dan,
I think that there was more challenges is basically what I would say. Would there be a lot more challenges, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but I think, you know, when I say I wish I had started not just my sphere, but I could work around. Real estate is that kind of job where you can work around your schedule, your children's schedules, your significant other's schedules. Right now, I have less balance in my life, actually, than when I was running around with young children, because I'm real estate 24/7. You know, so that really that's it.
Where's your favorite place to eat in Las Vegas?
My-
you ever seen the Fiesta?
my
Like
kitchen.
do you eat a lot of Filipino food?
I do, yeah.
Do you ever seen the Fiesta over there on the Eastern? That's the only one I know of, the Filipino restaurant. Do you ever eat there?
Yeah, there's a lot of Filipino restaurants.
What's your favorite Filipino restaurant?
You know what? I actually like Max's on Flamingo because Max. They're actually
Flamingo
a chain.
and where?
Flamingo and Maryland Parkway, I think, in the Seafood City. So, but I eat it all. I eat everything.
So do you don't do the whole traditional style where did your mom like pass those traditions of how to cook?
She did. So I still like to cook. It's going to be a very
Dude, she'll
special
cook
occasion.
stuff and
Yeah,
post
I
on
would cook.
Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know
I
what that
used
is,
to.
but it looks good.
You know what? I know those videos pop up where
You
I
should
used
cook
to
some
be
of that for me
cooking
sometime.
and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Brighten my horizons as a Midwest boy.
One of the things that I
I'll
just
bring
could
some.
not do
Which one?
is where you got the fish head with the eyeball in the soup.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I
dude.
can't do it. I'm telling you, no.
I
I'm
can't
telling
either.
you.
My uncle's
No.
favorite is the eyeball. The fish
Shut
eyeball.
up.
No, seriously.
Seriously.
No joke. I mean, because look, man, and also too, like a lot of tradition with the Filipino culture too is that they eat the tail off the shrimp, right? Is
Yeah.
that true?
It's actually really good for you.
Is it really?
It's for your arthritis. I read that
Yeah,
somewhere.
sure
by
it
a
is.
white
But
guy.
do they do that a lot in Wisconsin?
Yeah, all the time, man. We eat the mold right on our cheese.
Don't make me spit.
But so you got all those same traditions. So
You guys crazy, man.
We are. We do. We do.
I
When we
think-
throw down, it's crazy.
yeah, I think they bring a lot of extra things that people don't really would consider. Like it's like things like I'm like, wait a second, I'll try it. Yeah, I'll try it. Like I said, the soup. I don't know, man. The eyeball thing with the whole thing.
He just
staring
gets
at-
done saying, anything out there, I'll try. The soup,
You
I
know,
don't know.
I've
but-
never
I
had
don't know
soup
about the
with
soup.
eyeballs in it, but I don't know where you were eating, Dan.
It's
But
the
you,
fish head.
I'll take you.
It's
where-
the fish
I'll
head.
take you to my place.
Don't you have a soup in there with like a fish head with the eyeballs and they keep the eyeballs in there?
I don't put eyeballs in my soup. So
Okay, all right.
Okay, just to that statistic, Asian Pacific Islanders in Las Vegas make up 13% of the population. Okay, 13%, and of that, almost more than half, I think, are Filipinos. So that's from my friend Bobby. Bobby, you're listening, of Asian Journal. He gave me that statistic. So
Oh,
Bobby,
Asian
thank
Journal.
you for that statistic.
Bobby, I get all my statistics from Bobby.
Bobby, what's up, Bobby?
So let me say this last thing. So we got to segue to Bret here for a second. But with your sphere of influence, I know you deal with everybody, but isn't like the Filipino culture, they're like family. It's almost like if you're in with one, you have the whole family. And I'm not just talking about that immediate family. You have everybody's
That's so
family.
stereotypical, Dan.
No, they're really loyal and very
just kidding.
family oriented, right?
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all are invited to my house, my mom's house for, Thanksgiving this year.
Be careful because I will show
That's
up.
right. I know you will. So that's why I invited.
Does she serve turkey or ham?
She does serve turkey. We've asked her not to because she doesn't do turkey very well. Oh, look, I'm getting
I like a
call.
nice glazed ham.
So let's talk about this. So let's kind of segue. So anything else you want to bring? Do you have anything to highlight about yourself that you want people to know about you that maybe makes you different or unique?
I pick up my phone, except just right now I'm going to call him back. But I pick up my phone. Honestly, I want your business. If I'm not picking up my phone, I am lying dead in a ditch somewhere.
And
really.
something that kind of separates Corin from the rest of them too is that she was personally trained by me.
That's right. Absolutely.
Real quick, I want to bring up, because we try to answer questions. If you guys have questions on here, I do want to answer them.
Somebody said, we talking Filipino food. We are throwing down some Filipino food. Yes.
What's balut? Is it balut?
Oh God, balut.
What is that?
You want me to talk about
Yeah,
balut?
talk about balut.
All right. It is an egg, chicken egg, where I don't know if I get this
No, I've
correctly.
seen this.
It is. It is.
Shut up.
It is.
How do you know about that?
There's a freaking dead something in there, dead bird in there, and everything.
Dude, how does-
so, yeah. Okay. We have balut eating
What is
contests.
wrong with you? What
They're
is wrong with?
dead.
Why would you
They're
do
dead.
that?
Okay.
But dude,
With enough San Miguel, and you know what? When
with enough what?
when the Americans were stationed there, we'd have these balut eating contests. Guess who always won those contests? The boys. The servicemen.
The
Loved
servicemen.
it. Loved
Really?
it. Yeah,
Really?
it was great. It was great. I don't eat it
Oh,
myself.
never mind. He goes,
this
I'm
guy.
Filipino. Sorry, Bear.
Come on, okay.
One last thing is, what about kamanyan?
Don't answer
What
it.
is kamanyan? Is it?
Kamayan.
Kamayan.
Means, kamayan. Kamay means hands, so you eat with your hands.
Oh, I
on a
see.
banana leaf. We eat with our hands.
Okay.
I don't. I've discovered the spoon and fork, but I love it. Yes, we eat with our hands.
Hey, that's a good thing.
It
I
is
like
a good
that.
thing. It's
I eat with my
fun.
hands. I'll
It's
tell you,
fun.
I can wrap anything in a tortilla.
I eat with my hands.
It could be anything.
I
I'll
eat with
just
my
throw it in
hands,
a
that's 'cause I'm a
tortilla,
country boy.
and I'll start eating it. All right. All right, so let's talk about a little bit with cryptocurrency because look, I know everybody wants to talk about other things, just
You had
financing
questions. So.
Well, let's talk. I mean, let's just bring up the fact that it's dropped.
Oh, what you were saying before about how
No,
crypto's
I'm
dead.
Well, crypto's down significantly.
You said earlier
It's
before
dead.
the show, he goes, "Man, crypto's dead," and I started laughing.
Yeah.
And you go, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "In the history of Bitcoin, you can literally go find online articles and find hundreds and hundreds where Bitcoin's been dead, hundreds and hundreds of
What
times."
do you got to bring about cryptocurrency this week? You have anything to bring up that's like an update? I know it's
No,
low.
I mean,
dude,
so-
Litecoin and you got Ethereum dropped significantly.
all of them
Significantly.
did. It's weird, man. It's an ever-changing market, so you'll have like one like Solana, sorry. And Solana is its own blockchain, and you can do like NFTs and smart contracts and all that stuff. So it basically works exactly like Ethereum, but it's quicker and it's a lot cheaper to use. So for some reason, that thing last year at this time was like 25 cents or like 50 cents. And it goes all the way up to when Bitcoin went up this past April, it went all the way up to like $25. Bitcoin is up at 70,000 or 65,000.
Dang.
Bitcoin crashes all the way down to like 28,000. This coin goes from $2 to $25. Market crashes. It then goes from $25 to almost $300. While everything else is going down 50% and went all the way up to almost $300.
So why does something like that happen,
But
Bret?
now, in the second kind of downfall of crypto this year that's been happening, when it went back down to what, 33,000, whatever it is, it actually dropped further than the rest of them. It dropped like 60 or 65%, and the other ones only dropped like 40%. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, I can say that the network it's on has been down a couple of times, and that's not good. Because the whole point of a decentralized network is you can't have the network go down because you can't have a network go down,
Yeah.
So why did that rise above other coins that basically do exactly the same thing? Probably marketing. It's got a young crowd behind it, a lot of hype and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't really, there's coins that actually have value and do things, and then there's other coins that just
Play.
rise. I said most of them are tokens,
Right.
And all tokens is essentially you're trading the work.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it, right? So, say you have something facilitated where a program where it's going to do the title work for a real estate transaction. It's going to pull the title, it's going to pull the history, and it's going to put everything together, all that stuff in the smart contract. Well, normally when you go to do that on a house, when you go to close on a house, a title company does that work. So the title company gets paid money to do that work.
Yeah.
Well, now the computer is doing that work.
I have a question on this. So I understand you're going down the road on that part of it.
Yeah.
But the question that I have for you, and this is what I want to bring up. If you had $500,000, you're an average person out there. I mean, okay, 500,000 is a lot, but I'm just saying you're an average investor.
Sure.
Hold on. If you
I
want to,
didn't say-
well, I want to say something.
Hold on.
You're about to.
I know.
I'm not.
So listen, if you're taking that money and let's say you invested into something, anything, what would you invest that money or how would you diversify the money? Because you look at cryptocurrency, and I'm going to say this, all of these markets to me are overinflated and they're all driven by consumer confidence. If that goes away, what then? So what would you invest your money in?
Real estate.
You're saying, I believe that we got a doomsday scenario. What would you invest in?
It's not
Would
a
you invest in
doomsday.
anything for a
It's
doomsday
not
scenario?
It's not a doomsday. What I'm saying is that if I have that capital,
You're
with
saying
hold
everything's hyped up right now.
With what I've seen with the economy and with the stock market
Sure.
coming down a little bit, obviously with cryptocurrency, overinflated housing market, where would you invest your money?
I would invest my money in what I thought had the biggest potential in the next couple of 2 or 3 years. And where I feel has the biggest potential in the next 2 or 3 years are NFTs and virtual land. Like the sandbox
the
or
metaverse.
decentralized, the metaverse.
Dang.
I think buying virtual online land is definitely where you're going to have the best return on your investment in the next 5 years.
Explain what that
Wow.
is, man, because there's a lot of information.
So look at it
thought
this
of
way.
that?
Okay, let me put it to you simple. The best way that I may not be 100% correct. This is my interpretation of it. Okay. So, I
Yeah.
mean, this is ever evolving new things that I'm trying to keep up and read daily, but I'm not by any means an expert and know everything. So just keep that in mind. My version of it is, it's like the sandbox or Decentraland, something like that, all right, let's do it this way. It's like a video game, right? But you're getting a chance, like take Super Mario Kart back in the day. You get a chance to buy part of that game. So there's a certain level, there's a certain action that happens in a certain level. You got to get past this part on phase 3 to get to the next level and collect whatever mushrooms or whatever it is. Like you actually own part of that land in that video game. So as these spaces, these platforms, these land get developed, you can look at it as the value in it. You know, so just like regular land, like if you buy land on the strip, it's going to be worth more than land that's in the middle of nowhere. So you're buying land on the metaverse that is juxtaposed to other areas that are going to bring it value, and then you can buy other things and put on your land.
Who's selling that? Who is selling that? Who owns and sells you land?
Buyers and sellers. There's a market for
in
it.
the metaverse.
So here's what it's about. At the end of the day, there's a market for it.
There's no market.
Okay,
for
so
it,
people can say
sure.
this and that, whatever it is. I feel the market's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger in the future. That's why I feel that way. So if you want to say, if you want to question why there should or shouldn't be a market, that's a different conversation.
So let's go down
I'm
this.
not talking about that.
Let's go down this road. So I get what you're saying on that. Okay, so it's virtual land. Now, everybody says they got confidence in cryptocurrency, right? They got all this cryptocurrency that's being created, a lot of it new created, right? And then you have you have the existing, we'll say the pillars of cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all. So why would you not invest your money there?
You should.
Okay, but explain why you should.
But so like sand is a cryptocurrency that is the cryptocurrency for the sandbox, which is a metaverse.
Okay.
Mana is the decentralized currency for Decentraland. So they are cryptocurrencies in a sense. And when they're cryptocurrencies.
Is it just the new thing on the market though? Like again, I understand what you're saying, but it just seems like there's always this new idea that it kind of all these things start to kind of drum up and everybody's excited and let's throw a bunch of money, but then it kind of deflates itself a year or 2 years later.
So it would probably be wise to do your homework before you throw a lot of money at something. If you're just going to throw your money at something just because it's the latest thing, you don't know what it is, then you're begging to lose money, man. That's not my responsibility. You don't do your homework.
Would you invest into real estate?
Yes. I mean, these are things that you asked me what I invest in. I'm telling you because I've done research on them. And that's what I feel will give me, I could be wrong, but I think I've seen things go from nothing to something real quickly. Yeah. And they're now just starting to be talked about. And looking at the past with other things that I've seen go from nothing to something. When I realized that it went from nothing to something, if I would have gotten in then, because it went from something to nothing to really something.
I always say, I wish I bought 4 houses from you when I first met.
Thanks. I wish you would have too. But see, if you believe that the future of a lot of living and our lifestyle and living our lives is online, then that's what you're essentially investing in.
So here's my question. How do you take that and bridge that same concept between your Generation Y, your millennials, Generation X, to the older generation and understand? Well, hold on. The older investors, for the most part, typically have more money to invest.
Yes.
How do you bridge that gap? They have no idea what you're talking about.
They have to educate themselves.
I have no idea.
They have to educate themselves.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you want me to tell? Like, how do you bridge that gap? To be informed.
Well, you got to present it though that says this is why you would do it, and here's how safe it is.
Well,
and these are the reasons why you're going to get your return.
It's 100% safe because it's all done and stored on blockchain. But why? I agree. The concept of spending $15,000-$20,000 on a little thing that says you own land online that you can't touch. I understand that, but okay, so let me give you an example. Are there not investors that buy countries throughout the entire country that flip them or then rent them out or whatever route who have never seen these properties? They've never seen them. It's just an investment portfolio.
No, but it's
so in that sense, how's it different? Or take, for example, that's just one way of doing it. What about the idea of taking something like the Sandbox or Decentraland where you have this virtual land online that's stored in blockchain, right? But the value of it and where you buy it at is actual real life properties. It's actual real life portfolios all put together in one kind of metaverse. And then how much your portfolio is actually worth is how much your NFT or your whatever it is actually your virtual land is actually worth.
So let's say if you're trying to sell this like to my dad or something or my mom, you're gonna have to show him numbers or my sister even, who's younger than me. You're gonna have to show them some results and numbers, like we do with everything. It's like, but my mom, my dad will show my mom. Here's our bank statement. Here's how much we have, and my mom goes, "Give me cash. I want to touch it." So
I can show you what these things were worth 2 years ago and what they're worth now.
There you go. Yeah,
that's real easy to understand.
I think it's like this though. It's the mindset of understanding that if I invest in this, like. You're groomed a certain way when you grow up and how you're presented with things and what works for you when you grow up, similar to how you grow up in your family. To change your mindset or just have a total different concept and adopt that's a hard thing to do.
I would say never invest in something you don't know about and you're uncomfortable with. That's what I would say rule number one.
Absolutely.
But you got to understand that there's an entire generation grow up where this is second nature, man.
All right, we got to end the show. We're going to have this to be continued. I'm going to go ahead. Brett, appreciate you coming on, man. As always, you're my co-host. You do a lot for the show. I want to appreciate you. Corinne, I appreciate you as well. How can somebody get a hold of you, Brett?
702-628-3476 or BretJenny.com.
Corinne, how can somebody get a hold of you, Corinne?
corinLujan.com. You're the tiger. Happy Lunar New Year. Gung Hai Fat Choi.
I want to give a shout out to my YouTube channel quick, too. YouTube.com/The Vegas Dude.
I saw that. The Vegas
The
dude.
Vegas Dude.
The
Really
Vegas
easy to remember.
Dude.
Because I'm that Vegas dude.
All right, guys, we're out. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
on Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll have a great guest if no sickness
Vicky
comes
Greco.
out.
Yes,
Right.
she's stay
So,
healthy, girl.
also, too, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of good content information on a weekly basis. We need your support, right? We need the love. We need to try to get to 1,000. We've been stuck on the same subscribers for a period of time now, I think for like a week. So by next week, I want to be over 300.
All right.
So if you guys can help me out with that, this is Dan French, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you for watching the French Workbench podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there. A lot of good information, and you can find us on audio-only options through SoundCloud and iTunes.